He stood in front of the fireplace with his back to me. Something on the white marble mantel held his attention. He is just above 6 feet in height, but being broad-shouldered, he gives the impression of a much taller man. His hair is like a raven's plumage. He wore formal evening attire. When he finished inspecting the cluster of red needle-shaped crystals, he turned his attention to me. His eyes are enormous, almond-shaped, and of the palest gray, a silver dusk on a summer's day. They sought my gaze and held it. In their depths I recognized genuine interest, not momentary curiosity. I blushed and looked away. Then I returned his gaze, drawn by those twilight eyes. If he had an imperfect beauty, if his nose were hooked, his chin non-existent, his ears fleshy, his skin marked by enlarged pores, then with these negative aspects a picture could easily be drawn. But when male features are regular, yet impart astonishment to the beholder, one must resort to a face on a Roman/Greek coin/statue, or a primeval god, or even a hero in a romantic novel. The most heroes are never too clearly described, so that the reader may be allowed to satisfy each and every personal inclination.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He doesn't specify which primeval god. He could be thinking about Azathoth.
I'm resisting the urge to say a homophobic slur.
All right, welcome back to Workers Lit, your favorite show about fighting for the narrative. This is the Gaywyck episode, and I've got to say, I noticed I named the Zencaster call we're on Gaywyck, like with a space between it, like it's John Wick, and I just wanted to point out to everybody that I so it's not spelled like that, but Gaywyck. That's what
there's a lot of gay wicks being dipped in this text.
That's true. This book is certified, brought to us by Aisha Banger. And I just have to say at the top, Aisha, you have outdone yourself with this one.
I have so many gay books, y'all.
Before we really get into it, Aisha, what made you suggest this book? What were your feelings about it? What was your experience with it? Would love to hear about that.
So this book was introduced to me by a friend of the show, Lee Mandello, introduced me to this book. And it, like, literally, like, getting told, like, oh yeah, here's a gay Gothic romance novel that was written, like, in the late 70s is like, oh, like, why have I never heard of this? And I think I kind of know why, but, like, it hasn't aged great. Well, I mean, no, I think it has aged really well, because I think... But, like, it's problematic.
In certain ways, it's woke. In other ways, it's fucking not. I think on balance, it turns out woke.
I mean, it is beat for beat, like, a perfect Gothic thriller, except it is about a boy.
Right. Yeah. And a good Gothic thriller, I might add. Like, a solid Gothic thriller. Like, it does not feel like satire. He is not satirizing the genre. He is not doing a spoof. He actually makes that very clear in his own writings. Like
I do think there is a level of pastiche.
It feels like it at certain points, but he was very clear that he wasn't trying to do a pastiche. What he was trying to do at certain points, he does quote from other books. He does pull quotes from other books in, but I guess I should say maybe to say again, I don't think it's satire. I think it's pastiche is maybe fair though. Yeah.
Maybe it's just the conventions of the genre that irk me when I'm reading an entire chapter that's exposition that sometimes matters, sometimes doesn't.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that matters happens in like the last 30 pages, and then it's like, here's a lot that matters.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad I didn't like skim the very end of this book or something like that. Holy shit.
Out of curiosity, y'all's editions, like, what does the cover look like?
It's just like a boring American romance novel cover. It's just like blank.
That
with the title.
Just looks like super clean, like.
Yeah, I mean, it should have like Fabio on it.
It doesn't necessarily. It doesn't doesn't necessarily. It doesn't have Fabio on it at all, but let me toss a picture of like the original cover into the chat.
It rules.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, right. You got the
This rules.
yeah. It's so brooding. You get such a better sense of the environment, better than just like some dudes like doing a shoot in a library or whatever. I was actually talking to a partner of mine about this, and she said the original cover is way better. This is a quote from her. The original cover is way better. That other one is a period inaccurate crime against good taste. Nobody was fucking dressing like that first image when there was widespread adoption of rail transport in the United States. Who let them put some fucking Regency dressed twunks on the cover of a novel taking place in 1899 New York?
I have to note, what we're looking at here is a blonde guy sitting by the rocks by the ocean, and then there is he's well dressed, but then there's a very well dressed, dark haired man standing with a cane and a hand on his shoulder. In the background, there is a manor, and it says, text reads, "He was so innocent until he fell captive to the brooding master and sinister secrets of," in big text, Gaywyck. Which is just not really what happens, but it still rules.
It's not really what happens.
He does fall victim to certain secrets. Other secrets he just kind of encounters.
It's kind of like, what if their book was written about the dumbest boy to ever live?
I'm going to share now 2 other covers, one from the reprint and one from the Kindle edition. Y'all are going to love this. Just want to get the reaction here.
Oh!
Yeah, we got some fun stuff going on.
This sucks.
Oh my god, look at his bulge.
So
that looks like that's ass. That looks terrible.
So yeah, the first one is just bad art of the same characters looking not good. They're supposed to look sexy. They don't. The bulge is visible, but not in a hot way at all.
This is like a DeviantArt. This is like Yowie from DeviantArt. Look
at his fucking hands, yeah.
And the second one,
Yowie hands.
And the second one that I just sent is from the Queer Tales. They're the ones who did the reprint that happened just a few months ago. This is the newest reprint of the book.
Yeah, this is the one my partner hated.
It's the live action, it's like photographic, and it looks like a bad edit. I think it is a bad edit of like.
It looks like the fucking CW adaptation.
Yeah, it looks like the CW version.
Looks very Outlander.
The original is the best. Easy.
Yeah.
Should we do Outlander at some point?
Maybe so. Sound off, listeners. Do you want us to do Outlander? What we are going to do is talk about the author, Vincent Verga. Vincent, I know you go on podcasts. If you're listening to this, and you may well be.
Vincent, come on the show.
Vincent is so cool. Vincent, just so you know, we are going to make some jokes about this book, but we genuinely love you. I think he's a lot of fun. Vincent was born in 1942, the son of a truck driver, into New York City, and then he moved into a suburb. I would like to read from the bio on his website about the day he was born, and then you'll get an idea of what kind of guy this is. I'm a native New Yorker born September 28th, 1942. That day, my orphaned mother was mistakenly told by her surrogate mother, Mammy O'Neill, that 2 tablespoons of bicarbonate of soda instead of 2 teaspoons would ease her discomforts. Soon an ambulance rushed Frances to St. Vincent's Hospital with me propelled into the world. In shock, my mother asked a passing nun, "Where am I?" When another nun followed hard upon to ask for my name, my mother announced Vincent. Turns out St. Vincent is the patron saint of orphans. That's how he opens up his bio on his website. His bio's not that long, by the way. He spends like several paragraphs doing that.
Is he from the sequel to this book?
Vincent grew up in New York City and then the suburbs of Lindenhurst, New York. He had his first boyfriend at age 7 and his first serious boyfriend at age 11. This is, again, according to his own description of his life.
Based.
These ended due to sermons at his Catholic school. He was raised in private Catholic school and had a fit of guilt about being gay, renounced gayness. And he says multiple times over fear of hell, he had near nervous breakdowns growing up. At age 17, he had his first sexual relationship. Again, this is all stuff he's shared with his 27-year-old piano teacher. The piano teacher would pick him up for school for piano and also sex. He told his priest in confessions about this relationship. The priest told him it was bad, and then he broke it off, and they both had nervous breakdowns. Apparently, the piano teacher spent time in the psych ward. Vincent says he still feels bad
Oh my
about it.
God.
He said they had very poor nerves back in those days.
I mean, girl,
Yeah.
who's among us?
Yeah. He got his bachelor's at one more thing I wanted to mention. I didn't write this down, but he said in high school everybody knew he was gay. Like they had already kind of figured it out. And he said a lot of people would write fag and faggot on his stuff. And he says anytime someone wrote fag on my stuff, I changed it to fab for fabulous.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So he's like in this,
Hell
like
yeah.
he's in like the late 50s, like doing this shit. Like he is a trailblazer.
That rules.
He got his bachelor's at St. Bonaventure University. I've never heard of such. But it's in New York. Then he decided to get his
Ventures.
He decided to get his master's at Yale because he didn't want to go to Vietnam. Because the war had just started up.
Okay,
he
so
said,
we found one good reason to go to Yale.
Yes.
Yeah.
He went to the theater program. Less evil than say what friend of the pod JD Vance went to it for.
Yeah, as opposed to what's his fuck F. Scott Fitzgerald, who dropped out of Princeton to go to the war.
Exactly. So he says, this is another quote. Quote, I went through college with no sexual adventurers. Quote, I went through college with no sexual adventures.
At Yale?
Several
Skull
guys
and Bones there. You can at least fuck a skull.
Yeah. Several guys expressed their love for me, but I took it in stride. I never took it in heart, nor in bed. End quote.
This guy rules. I'm obsessed with him.
But he met James McCourt there, a writer who is actually better known than Vincent is, who would be his life partner. They are still together today. And
oh my God, wow.
James said was in NYU's legal program and dropped out to go to Yale, even though that was seen as worse at the time because he heard there were more gay men at Yale.
Okay, so we found a second good reason to go to Yale.
Yes. Together they agreed Yale sucked. Both of them dropped out without getting a degree from there and moved to London because they thought that was the thing that you do. You pursue a degree in the arts, or, you pursue a life in the arts, you go to London. He said they were regularly fucking, but he still wasn't sure if he was gay or not. He said even though they were he said they were very physically affectionate in public. They were fucking a lot, kissing a lot. They lived together, but he still wasn't sure if he was gay. And he doesn't mean in the sense of, I might be bi. He means like, he just hadn't come to terms with it. But on a brief trip to Paris, he told James, I'm not sure if I'm gay. And James said, okay, I'm going to leave. So he goes back to the hotel and Vincent chased him and broke down crying. And James said, there. We all come out in our own way. And from then on, he was publicly out as gay.
Oh my God.
And
you said this was in like the 60s?
This was in the 60s.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's awesome.
He said that it was actually a lot of fun being gay in London in the 60s, but you had to know how to fight.
That also rules.
What didn't rule is that they had absolutely zero success in London of any kind. So they moved back to New York City, where he got a job as the editor of the New York Review of Books. He started as a typist and worked his way up and became close with the writer Susan Sontag. She wrote like Against Interpretation, did a lot of he's dedicated some of his work to her. They were very close friends. She was friends with
awesome.
him and his life partner James. They got a 1-bedroom rent-controlled apartment, and they have literally never left it to this day. They got it in 1970, and they're just still there.
Shouts out.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Rent control.
On New York City, here's a quote from him. Just because I love to quote this man. I loved the city, especially the local movie theater, The Beacon, where they show reruns of the Golden Hollywood movies. That is where my visual vocabulary, my acute visual literacy, was born and nurtured. I learned how to look at what I see from the movies and from picture books. I joke that I look, therefore I am. End quote. So anyway, he got fired from his job at New York Review. They claim he was stealing money from them. He says that he complained about poor working conditions there. So that both sides still claim different sides of it. I'm just going to come down on Vincent's side because I like Vincent. Yeah.
When the New York Review of Books writes a Gothic romance, get back to me.
Exactly. he starts working on various artistic and research projects, and he starts working on Gaywyck at this time. He was inspired by his mom's shitty romance novels, especially one where he said, quote, "I was alarmed to find the villain was a faggot," end quote. He didn't like that. And so he wanted one where the heroes were gay. He had trouble selling it. Publishers told him gay people don't want romance, just sex. And he said he must be the only man who connects sex and love, but he thought there would be some people who at least would want to read it. When it was published, and he did finally find a publisher, it was controversial. Bookstores posted warnings. A store in Texas actually got shot up over it being in the window.
Holy shit.
He got like numerous threats. It's interesting because this came out in 1980. There was actually an upswing of acceptance for gay people that would then decline during, the height of AIDS, Reaganism, friend of the pod, James Dobson's, destruction, all of that shit. Not to say that it was a great time, but he was able to, there was a little space in the market for it. He says he also received tons of contacts from people saying it's how they learned men could love each other. He recounts one story of a boy apparently calling him from a phone booth, like 2 a.m., like somehow having found his number and saying, like, is it true that you can live a life like in this novel? And he said, well, the sex parts, not the financial parts. And the boy was like, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And then he said he had to advise the boy not to make advances on his gym teacher. That's a whole different story.
I mean, as we've said before on the show, you took what you could get, right?
Yes.
Like,
his parents learned he was gay by listening to his interview about this book on NPR, which is
my God, that's incredible.
And it was in print for a while. And it is credited very much as the first gay Gothic novel. Another quote from him, quote, "Touted as the first gay Gothic novel, it has gone through several manifestations, and it is now available on Kindle. I still get fan letters regularly. It shamelessly plays with the classic Gothic genre because my goal was to prove that genres have no gender. I did this by incorporating into my hero's first-person narrative not only the requisite Gothic horrors and secrets, but also lines from great books and movies, lines spoken by heroines," end quote. You'll notice lines like from Gatsby, "I've never seen so many shirts," is in this book. Things like that.
Yeah, I saw that. We just read Gatsby, so.
I'll speed through the rest of his life fairly quickly, but in 1982, he wrote A Comfortable Corner about gay codependency and alcoholism, drug addiction, things like that, because it was a thing he was seeing a lot in the gay community, living in New York in the 70s and 80s. In 2001, Vadriel Vale comes out, which is also titled Gaywyck 2. But it does not feature the characters from this book. It's about gay love in the Gilded Age. He calls it part of the Gaywyck Quartet. Even though 4 books have not come out, there is possibility of a 4th. In 2007, he did Cartographia, Mapping Civilizations. A big part of it was him mapping out where the gay communities were in New York. And he has like maps and stuff he's drawn and how they evolved over the years. In 2010, Children of Paradise, Gaywyck 3. The central characters return. Robert shows up as a silent film director. Donna is learning to fly. The book is actually, you really can't, it's hard to get. The book was up on the Kindle store. It's not up on the Kindle store anymore. I'm not sure if he's doing a new edition because this book just got reprinted a few months ago. There's edits. I'm not sure. He refers to this thing as a quartet, so presumably there's going to be a 4th book, but it doesn't exist. He's the American representative for Jackie Clark Collection and in Ireland, which is the biggest collection of Irish history in public hands.
Wow.
He's done tons of research and photography projects. He's like been at the center of so many different photography books, done photography like research. He's worked on a lot of cartography projects as well. At this point, he has over 150 credits working on various photography books with the likes of John Wayne, Stephen Ambrose, Miles Davis, Jane Fonda, Ed Koch, Walter Cronkite, and unfortunately, Hillary and Bill Clinton. And then also I just have to throw out there, his website is so cool. It's just like Barnes and Noble reviews he's gotten that said this book is good, just posted everywhere. Like it's just his 5-star reviews. It's really sick. Yeah, that's this guy. He seems to, he's like been very quiet. He doesn't have a lot of social media. He doesn't, the interviews he does, I mean, you can go read them. I've quoted from them, but he just gives very long, like kind of meandering thoughts about like whatever is on his mind. Um, he kind of steers away from politics for the most part, aside from saying like like gay people are cool. Um, he did it to his credit. A recent thing was talking about, someone said, well, it's like really good and easy to be gay now, another like gay guy in New York, and he was like, well, it is in New York, it's not in a lot of the world. So he at least has like, he's not fully in a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's Vincent Verga, and he seems very, he is to this day, like Gaywyck is still like, you know, his great love. He sees himself as a researcher and a photographer, cartographer before a writer, but Gaywyck was just like his book he had to write. And yeah, and the last thing I'll say is it's had a bit of a Kindle renaissance, which has led to its recent republishing, because it is really, despite coming out in 1980, a book made for like the fucking Kindle generation. It really is like made for the, like, you're trying to read like a steamy fun book, you know, a bodice ripper, and get that off Kindle. So he's been very excited about that, and he says Gaywyck has been catapulted into the 21st century on his website. So fun guy, Vincent.
It is crazy. This book feels like it could have been written any time in the last 100 years.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No, yeah, it's remarkably like y'all said, it's not so much a pastiche. It's like remarkably sincere. In particular, like there's turns of phrase that are, what I like is going back into history and seeing that there are some turns of phrase and some aspects of popular culture that are actually much older than we think they are. Certain, like, oh, like you ain't seen nothing yet, kid. You know, just ways people would have talked. There's that I appreciate about it. There's also like what you said about the kid calling him from the phone booth and being like, do gay people exist? Like, there is such truth to that at the heart of this book, which is that like part of the and I'll get into it a little bit later, but part of the fantasy of this is just being somewhere where that knowledge is imparted to you, because it's very, very easy growing up under the regime of heterosexuality to have this stuff just pass you by, not even through any active denial. You can be surrounded by, you know, fairly progressive-minded and open-minded people who just happen to be straight, and it just never occurs to them to communicate to you, oh, people can be like this, people can be like that.
But in the world of Gaywyck, what's that old YouTube video? The world where gay is the norm and straight is the minority.
Yeah, there's like one straight person in this book.
Yeah, that in Gaywyck, everybody's gay. They just can't admit it.
And fucking their family.
Yes. Well, you know, close
Classic.
by, convenient.
I do have my prose poem notes. It's kind of long this time, so if it's too long, we can cut it.
No, let's hear it.
Okay.
Aisha's notes, folks.
Aisha's notes. Okay. This boy has night brain. Mom died of the woman disease. I'm not like other girls. I'm a boy. Donut Gaylord. Everything sounds very beautiful. I feel like the communism is leaving my body when I hear about Gaywyck. Northeast Gothic. Remus Lupin ass. I think that was about Denver's. Shout out Robert, you would have loved Tumblr. That silly celibate is an excellent insult for a priest. This kid is the most autism of all time. This guy is a Disney princess with this cat. Gay ass house. I love a secret passage. What if Call Me By Your Name was American? Love how people just be fucking with the door open. Back in the day, there was no video game, so everyone had to recite Shakespeare from memory. Rich people, paying people to hang out with them. This guy is proof that reading too many novels does rot your brain. The masculine urge to spend your woke BF's money. Giving a black guy a copy of the Emancipation Proclamation is crazy work. Trying to figure out if this kid is actually ugly or if Robert is just a little bitch. We got another pedophile island, folks. Jones realizes he is in a house full of perverts, but Robert is too stupid. Robbie positively mauling at the idea of poor people coming to live here. And that's it.
Excellent.
I mean, this specific poor person is kind of a terror.
Yeah. He was my favorite.
He had such vibrant chemistry with Robert. I was very sad to see him go. Spoiler alert for a 50-year-old book.
Yeah. I kind of wanted Robbie to like side with him against the rich people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my notes, I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm just like looking through. There's just everything from secret old lady, ! To Welsh intruder, ? To fucking hell, there was only one bed, to oh my God, they're looks maxing.
Guys, this book has everything.
It has it all. And we're gonna do our best to get through the plot beat by beat, but to set up what's happening here. This is set in the year 1900. Our hero, our legend, our favorite guy. His name is Robbie White. He is a very sensitive blonde boy that looks a lot like his mother, and he tells you about it at the very beginning of the book.
Yeah, the first line of the book is, "I resemble my mother physically," which you're like, oh boy, here we go.
Mm-hmm. He is a twink. I think that was people remind him of it.
Reaction.
Not only is he a twink and people remind him of it, when he goes to work out, he gets a personal trainer who gives him workouts so he doesn't get too buff and stop being a twink.
Yes, too muscle bound, yeah.
He says it's important that you remain a twink.
There's a bit early on where he's watching his dad like chop wood or whatever, and like he's intimidated by like how much more powerfully like built his dad is. He mentions his meager and precarious existence, and it's like, okay, so here's where he knows he's destined to be a twink.
Yeah, he sees his dad chopping wood, and he's like, I got to go hide in a tree and calm down. So he is the most dramatic, the most hysterical. Little guy.
He has night brain.
Yes, very much so. And this book is going to be the story of him meeting a rich gentleman who will make him his librarian, and
a woke billionaire.
And through a series of wild little adventures and then incredibly long periods of sitting around reading books, sorting books, taking walks, and sipping alcohol, interspersed with the most insane shit you've ever read, he will come to love that billionaire. That billionaire will love him. They will come to accept each other, and they will survive all attempts to murder them, from creepy old men, horrible commoners, and your evil gay twin.
Do you know what I couldn't help but think about at the outset of this, like when he gets set up as the librarian? I mentioned, Jacob, I know I've told you about Dorley Hall. Are you familiar with Dorley Hall, Aisha?
No. So
it's an ongoing series by Alison Greaves. It started on AO3. I think it's over 1 million words at this point. What the central conceit is, there is a college dorm on a college campus in England. And in the basement of this dorm is this facility where problematic young men, are captured, forcibly given hormone treatments and surgeries, and forced to transition into women, right? And so in the case of Dorley in particular, right, you're trapped in a force femme basement. All you have is like your fellow prisoners and your sponsors, which are former people who've gone through this. So St. Almsworth Book Club, this trans femme literature podcast I like, described it as, what if your only job was to transition and to self-actualize and to build community? What if you were in a space where you were forced to do this and nothing else? And that's what Robert gets here, right? He's somewhere where A, he's free to explore his passions, and B, free to self-actualize ultimately as I don't know exactly when in the story it clicks that he's gay, but like it's incremental.
Isn't it when he sees the fucking hieroglyphics?
No, yeah, it's when he sees hieroglyphics of men. He's like, they're wrestling. No, wait, no, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. But
jacking it to cave paintings.
But to start sort of towards the beginning, he comes from fairly humble origins. Relative to what heights he will ascend. He comes from his mom chills at home, and his dad is a principal, basically a headmaster. And his dad's always like, you got to study hard. And his mom's like, you got to study hard, but also you should read novels. And I love you. and you have the soul of a woman. He's like, no, Mom, I don't. Haha, but yeah, I kind of do. And he describes this is what he likes to do when he's a child. Quote, staying in bed for the day, no matter the season or the weather, was a delight almost beyond bearing. Mother baked... Sorry. Just fuck. Mother
Jacob
baked
just face palmed.
Yeah. Mother baked special treats and brewed herbal teas. My parents argued endlessly about my indisposition, but when I was medically certified as ill, there was nothing my father could do without appearing irrational or unkind. And he just laid there and liked to read books. And it's like, Mother baked special treats. It's just
Mama and Papa.
Fucking sins me.
I'm imagining him as like what is it, baby BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, like the fucking sailor outfit
and the lollipop, yeah.
And he is the specialist little boy who grows up and basically ends up, he's bad in school because he's a gifted kid. He's special. He takes the good classes. He takes
neurodivergent.
AP. Yeah, takes AP. He's a Tumblr gifted kid. And so he ends up basically, his dad's like, okay, you can stay home if you read Shakespeare all day. And he does. And he was like, turns out my dad and me are so different. He's so masculine and also likes to read Shakespeare all day and spends a lot of time with the priest. And it's like, no, the dad is also gay and plays the organ. It's like, no, your dad is a bear, son. Your dad is a bear. But things kind of spiral when his mother has a breakdown. His mother has a nervous breakdown. She gets the woman disease. Which, to be fair... She gets the
my husband is fucking the priest disease.
Yes. To be fair, in this book, men can get the women disease and often do.
That's true. Well, he's like his mother in the important ways, according to his mother.
So he's and his dad's like, oh, well, you're going to go to Harvard. And he's like, no, I'm not, Dad. And then their pastor friend is like, hey, I know a billionaire who's going to give you just a perfect job where you don't have to do any work and you have a lot of money. And he's like,
I know a house full of pedophiles.
Yeah.
that you can go to.
I know the fucking,
other than Harvard.
They're like, unlike Harvard in the 1800s, where the priest says, the first house from Gideon the Ninth, I'm going to send you there, but instead of a lot of people pursuing immortality, they are pursuing boy pussy. Like that is what's happening. And he's like, sign me up.
Specifically, like the worst twinks you've ever seen.
Yes, and the worst old men who prey on the twinks you've ever seen. I mean, we've got all types here. Which leads to him meeting Mr. Gaylord, Mr. Donna Gaylord, or Donna. How did y'all say his name?
In my head, I said Donog, even though I know that's probably not right. There's just a G in there, and I don't know what to do with it. Every way you can pronounce this name sounds goofy.
Listeners, you decide. It is Doun. Oh wait, is there a U in it?
You fucked it.
I made it fucking British. Donough. And that's his name is Donna Cormac Gaylord.
God, what a fucking name.
He's Cormac.
And in case you were wondering, wow, that's an interesting name. Would be crazy if he had a twin brother whose name was the inverse of that. You're in luck because he has a dead twin named Cormac Donna Gaylord.
There were fewer names back then.
Yeah, that's true. It was either that or Jesus.
Yes. They meet each other, and he's like, I'm from a fancy family. I'm moody and artsy and rich, and my dad and brother died in a fire, and my mom is also insane. He has long, dark hair, and they both nerd out over paintings and loving Japan. You can all there are moments in this where I swear fucking Robert is like baka to himself and like slaps himself in the face.
R.I.P. Robert, you would have loved anime.
You would have, because they're like, do you also love Japan? And he's like, I do. I even have a Japanese servant about it.
Yeah, he's like, instead of like, oh, I bought this manga, it's like, oh, I bought this man.
Yeah, I bought a human. Which is a good time as any to say, Gaylord is not like other billionaires. he comes from, his estate. Is it taken directly from Native Americans? Yes. In fact, it cites it as such and took some of their holiest crowns.
Were his maternal grandparents slave owners? Yes.
Yes. Did some of his family die during Sherman's March to the Sea? Yes. Don't worry. They got retribution.
In fact, like
critical support to those Union troops.
Yes, fuck yeah. Just offing fancy lads.
There is a bit where like those Union troops, like they kill like I think his grandmother or something. They're responsible for her death, and so like his grandfather, who has been playing both sides of the Civil War, by the way, engineers this decades-long revenge plot to eventually track down those soldiers and kill them.
Yes,
very normal.
Doesn't matter to the story. No, not really, but we get all of it because, again, this is a Gothic novel. This is Northern Gothic, not Southern Gothic, but you're still going to get the long explanations. This is in the literary.
I'm glad they did talk about, like, where does wealth come from in this country?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm, Verga's not, when you read about him talking about his politics with this book, it is all about the gender politics and queerness. So he doesn't talk about it, but I do think it's interesting. He's not really trying to make a political statement, but he does acknowledge the origins of the wealth. And I do wonder, do y'all think he's trying to show some kind of culpability in the project, or do you think he just thinks it's an interesting backstory?
It just strikes me as an interesting backstory. Like, they don't really reflect on it, do they?
I don't know. Like, there's definitely like a sort of like the sort of decadent isolation that like money creates, I think is what caused all the problems in this family.
Right.
Like, it was just like this like isolated clan that like were obsessed with each other. And I think there is, I don't know if it's like hugely relevant because like the love story is important and Gaylord himself is like, obviously like an idealized romance character. But I don't know, I felt like there was a little bit of commentary in it that like rich people be crazy. Like,
sure. I want to add, by the way, we're not doing a bit. His last name's Gaylord and his estate is called Gaywyck. This isn't like us saying the name differently, like joke style, because we've done that before. He is Gaylord and this is Gaywyck.
One of my favorite lines is, "We Gaylords are a doomed race."
Always.
I actually think
love
that
season of Doctor Who.
I think that naming your gay romance protagonist Gaylord is like peak comedy.
It's really good.
Naming your protagonist Gaylord, his like music tutor is Keys. What else? You got Goodbody and Mortimer, which are like,
yeah, you got Robert White, and that boy sure is white.
They'll tell you many times.
One of the interviews I listened to with Verga, someone asked, "Did you name him Gaylord on purpose?" And he like seemed kind of mad about being asked. He was like, "What are you talking?" Yes. What do you mean? You think I didn't notice? He's a nice guy, but he was like, "Yeah, I noticed that the word gay was in there." It was really funny.
Well, and at the beginning, like from the beginning, you have this tension as well between like what is manly and what is not, and all the ways in which Robert can like fall into the trap of like being a failed man or something. But he heads that off right at the end of the first chapter, and he'll tie it up later. But I do like this bit here. I see plainly that I have the body and thus the soul of a man. It follows then that all of my actions are the actions of a man. Therefore, whatever these actions may be, according to the incontrovertible laws of nature, they are masculine, right? You know yourself best. You alone can explain your own intrinsic inclinations and your identity.
Using the Platonic dialectic in order to affirm your gender. Many such cases.
And I think that's interesting too. Like, and they have multiple moments where like, there's another moment he's like, "Do you want me to be your wife?" And he's like, "No, I want you to be a man. We're both men." That's like the point of this,
Yeah.
It is a thing I do respect. So Robert is going to be the librarian at this gigantic library on Gaywyck, the big estate, which is an estate
first, like
on Long Island.
There's two houses.
Yeah, they're like connected, but yes. There is and he's gonna have everything taken care of for him, plus he's gonna get a salary of $1,000 a year, which translates to about $40K in modern money.
Which
but
is great if you don't have to pay rent.
Yeah, no rent, all your food is taken care of. You're getting bought fancy gifts every 15 seconds, way more than you need. Pretty good setup. And we
You're
get
getting your dick sucked by hot twins.
You do. Yeah, exactly. You're getting a personal workout regimen. You're getting taught to play the piano. You don't actually work very often at all. Nor
you have a very pretty kitty.
Yes, you have the best kitty.
Mm-hmm. A cat that saved his life several times.
Yeah,
I know Kale. Like that boy would be dead without Kale.
That's true. He's a Pokemon. So we can introduce Gaywyck now. I'm gonna read the description of arriving at Gaywyck because after a Harry Potter-esque train ride. So here is what Gaywyck is like. Who can forget his first sight of Gaywyck? For a fleeting orchestrated instant glimpsed from a landscaped rise, its countless symmetrical windows and enormous white columns flash. Immediately it disappears behind a screen of junipers. We quicken our pace in search of apparitions. The sea sounds louder and the park grows more dense. We ride the curving, rising, dipping road through the eventide's descending light. As we burst into a clearing to the roar of the surf, the sun spills inversely, willingly into the dark. In the gray mauve dusk in Gaywyck. I stepped down and stood between two circular groupings of red salvias that resembled pools of blood. Before me was the most massive antebellum mansion imaginable. Veiled in sea mists, it has neither beginning nor end. Perfectly proportioned, its lucent white elegance and grace beckon me to climb its wide stone steps. Flowers proliferate in rows of rhododendron. Rhododendron?
Yeah.
Rhododendron. Wow, we just pronounced it 80 different ways.
Lord Donna. Rose of Lord Donna, lead the eye to the distant right wing, imprisoned by tendrils of ivy. Gaywyck is without time or place, but the sea is near. I surrendered to its sound and to its smell. The lofty columns embraced me. Soft gold light streaming from the stained glass. Fanlight enveloped me. I felt calm and secure. The porch held solid beneath my feet. So, as Aisha said, communism leaving my body. This fucking rules. I would like to go here and be the librarian and fuck twins.
I know. I want. Yeah, for real.
For all the horrible things that happen in this book, this dude's got a pretty sick gig.
All the horrible things that happen, and like all the horrible things that will happen as well, which the text will remind you again and again. Let's go through my notes and see what we got here. Had I but known. In the background, the piano had grown louder, fiercer, as if accompanying the faun's sybaritic display, and presciently encouraging me to take part. Right? There's always there, and this is like a Gothic thing. Like, there's always, this is told from the perspective of somebody who's lived through this and who's like, oh my god, like all the signs were there, that some fuck shit was about, and so like. On the one hand, it recontextualizes everything as you go back and read through it. But on the other, it also puts the focus on what the person's trying to do and become in spite of all the weirdness around them.
Lenore, I get the impression that the Gothic shit does not work for you in the same way that I think it works for me.
Not really. I mean, I understand what it's trying to accomplish, but I just find it distracting.
I see. Okay, fair enough. Do you think there is a way, though, to tell this narrative that's not like this? Because I feel like this narrative in particular must be told this way.
I mean, for starters, don't like blow your load about how you're being drugged, like in chapter 4 or 5, right? Mm-hmm. There's a bit where he's like, "Oh, I had no concept of like the possibility that somebody was drugging my water that I keep by my bed." Like, you're laying it on a little bit thick, right?
Yeah.
It spoils the, like, that's something that I want to figure out for myself, right? Like, okay, like you're already setting up that you tend to sleepwalk, but throw in some context clues, right?
Yeah, it's a little I feel like that I kind of agree with you, Lenore, but I also think that Robbie, like, kind of sitting I think that when a story has a framing device like that, one, it's just like an old-fashioned way of telling a story. Like, it has to be like somebody's journal or something like that.
Undoubtedly.
Like Frankenstein is like some guy writing a letter to his sister about some man he found on the ice. I do think that Robbie's like outside perspective kind of grounds the story in that, like, you have somebody there who's being like, I know this is insane. I know I was very stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it makes you feel better. I feel like that I would have been more annoyed with Robbie as a speaker if older Robbie hadn't been there to be like, yes, reader, I know.
Sure.
I think the book also has enough reveals that it doesn't tell you ahead of time, like fully, that it works for me. But, you know, part of it is taste. Regardless, Gaywyck, again, an isolated estate where Robert is to be a librarian, and his main job is going to be to organize the books, but he's not allowed to do it alphabetically because that's going to take too much time, he's told. But there's a wise tutor living there named Denvers, who's missing fingers that an evil child cut off. There's a guy who sometimes... Yep. There's a guy who sometimes thinks he's Beethoven named Keys, who plays the keys. He's
plays
the
piano.
And also a really old caretaker named Ambrose, who's just always bitching.
91, which I immediately called bullshit on. Like, Ambrose is real and he's my friend, but go on.
There's a lot of ages in this that I'm like, that doesn't sound likely. Like, the fact that Jones is supposed to be 13 is insane to me.
This man, he's 13?
Yes, it makes it a lot worse.
I thought it was like 60. Oh, God.
I'm pretty, like, I literally went back and checked, because he's the younger brother of the kid, who drops ice cream on. Yeah, I think he's literally 13 years old.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And, God.
Sorry, two more characters I have to mention. We have a mute attendant named Brian, who's then just not mute anymore.
But he's just not, that was a really weird thing. Like, I literally thought it was going to be that, like, Brian actually was mute and, like, Robert was talking to somebody else or something, or that, like, Brian didn't exist. Like, that was really weird.
He's mute, then he's not. He's castrated, then his dick actually works just fine. Like,
it's just like a little messed up. He's a kid with trauma, though. And then there's Kale, the white Persian cat, who's like a Pokemon, who's like a spirit. Like, this cat is awesome. He's
fucking
always
Lassie.
On his shit. Just coolest cat you've ever seen in your entire life. Constantly saving everyone's life. I have to read the quote about Kale because it is peak cat. Kale ran ahead as if to show me the way. Everywhere I'd gone, the cat followed or appeared beside me to observe my every move. If at any time I approached him or expressed interest in his behavior, he ignored me or scurried away, bearing his tail like a white plume. Yet the instant I settled, he would bound for me, stand in my lap with his right front paw crooked, and gaze into my eyes until I welcomed him. Then he gave me his greeting, a guttural chirrup. The purring began when I spoke to him. By the time he stood close enough to be hugged, he was literally vibrating with pleasure. What a handsome friend you are. Yes. What a tesoro. What a gorgeous puss. What a darling spicy cake. I'd chant, becoming more inane as he revolved excitedly.
That is how I talk to my
darling
cats.
Spicy cake.
What a darling
I've never called my cats
cake.
a gorgeous puss.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start doing it.
Or maybe if you had lived in 1900, you would have been, you know.
Yeah, my grandma, who is herself like 90 or like maybe even almost closer to 100 at this point, she literally has said, like, she said to me in a text, you need to come to Michigan to come and meet my pussy. And I was like, say what? She met her cat.
Oh, let's go.
I mean, I've driven across the continent for, similar reasons.
My grandma's pussy?
Aisha, I don't know how to tell you.
I'm your new mom. I'm your new grandpa.
Yep. Oh, God. So, yeah, this is just most of the rest of this book will be Robert doddering around, fixing up books, having conversations, quoting literature, and getting sick and passing out through fits of hysteria.
Having night brain.
Yes, while weird shit happens to him. Most of it being like, oh, wow, there's like a little ghosty boy here. Or, oh, wow, my water every single day has weird chemicals in it. Guess I'll keep drinking it. Or
Somebody's murdered a bird and put it near me.
Yeah, somebody stole his clothes while he's like swimming. Like flowers show up, like orchids and stuff that somebody's leaving for him. Somebody like moves pictures around. Like there's like a poltergeist. Also, to frame up so the priest who brought him here had told him a story about this family, and it's like the nice version, which is like Daddy Gaylord, like the twins' father, Gaylord 1, Gaylord Senior, and Cormac, the twin, died in a fire when Dono was young. So like the sort of, and then the way people talk about Cormac is that he was like he was the evil twin. He was like more violent, more aggressive, and protected Dono.
And we will come to find out through this book several versions of events before we actually settle on the real one. Sometimes somebody else got burned. Sometimes it was poison. Sometimes it was intentional. Sometimes it wasn't.
Sometimes it was a combination of all those things.
Yeah,
yes.
Sometimes, it was suicide. There was a guy named Steven involved. Like,
yes.
So eventually, like, from very early on, Robert wakes up at night with a man who he thinks is Dono in his bed with him. They kind of sound like they're having sex or doing something. I don't know.
I don't think they do at this point, but they're definitely
I think
feeling each other up, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks that like in the morning, he's just not talking about it. But, something else is happening, which I'm sure, reader, you can guess as everyone, like when you're reading it, you kind of can guess what's happening. But like,
I have several points on my notes where I'm like, is this Cormac? Is this Cormac?
Yeah.
Is this Cormac?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so he
recently deceased author Cormac McCarthy is living in the basement of this house. He is telling you quotes about the judge. He is finally going to explain what the epilogue of Blood Meridian is about. And he's going to tell you what the name of the characters from the road is. It's going to happen.
This book is dripping with historical and literary references. And I think I'm right here. I think there's a very early, like about a quarter way through the book, foreshadowing of Cormac being like not gone, right? The downstairs library was a much more comfortable room. It was furnished with soft, overstuffed chairs, a mahogany desk filled one corner. I immediately christened it my office. A narrow tapestry hung between two windows opposite. Hundreds of butterflies woven in silken brightness on a red background. It belonged to Anne of Brittany. It was a Christmas present to young Cormac. He adored the insects. Do y'all know who Anne of Brittany was?
Couldn't tell you.
I looked this up. She is the only woman to have twice been Queen Consort of France. And if you have that in your head, you're like, okay, this is we're taking special time to look at this possession of this person who is gone. This possession belongs to somebody who came back.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that's the level that I think Vincent's operating on, because you can't turn a page without seeing, like, there's floral language here, there's like crocuses and lilies symbolizing rebirth, there's, as y'all have said, like multiple quotes from Shakespeare, from other Gothic literature.
Yeah, after one of the times when like they were quoting Shakespeare at each other, in my notes I wrote, "Gay people are so annoying."
Yeah.
It's all Twelfth Night, yeah. Twelfth Night.
Another example of how these people talk and how Vincent, thinks, or at least his characters think, is you've got Donna says, well, we're going to change all that. We must chance it. And then Robert thinks, chance and change. Seeing those two words together, I realize the only difference between them is the letter C and the letter G. CG. CG. The initials of the enigma. Whatever made me think that I could escape the malediction of Cormac Gaylord.
He sounds like a fucking QAnon guy.
But he's right. But
yeah, I mean, he's right.
Much like the QAnon guys, you're 80% right, but then you don't get the important part.
Do you know what my favorite line in the entire book is? Again, I remembered Manhattan is an island. To depart in any direction, one must cross water.
So true.
So true, bestie.
He's so baby girl.
Yeah, he's
fucking
really
love
baby
him.
girl. I really like Dono's gay friends, the couple
Yes, let's
that
get to
show
that.
up.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have an interracial couple that like people are really not racist towards for it being 1900.
Yeah, I mean, there is I think a certain and this is evident in the book too. Like the idea of having a black friend at a certain time, at least among the nobility, was like it was very exotic. It was very like
Sure.
high class to have a black friend. So
I did look into it though. He would have not been allowed into the box at like any opera theater.
oh yeah, probably not.
New
Not
York
in
City
America,
in 1900.
for sure.
He comes
Uh,
from money though as well, right? Like
He does,
He's,
but-
he's Haitian, not royalty, but like he's a rich dude from Haiti.
I'm not sure how much of it was bullshit. They call him a Haitian prince.
Yeah.
But that's also, they like also lie and say that Robert is a prince at one point. So, you know, I'm not quite sure. Haiti for sure, money for sure.
Prince meaning like vibe, I guess. Like
Maybe.
Well, I also like the way that he's treated. I feel like is more realistically how he would be treated in Europe.
Sure.
Just because like Europe. I mean, like there were famous jazz singers from America who literally like had to when they were like I can't remember her name, but there was like a famous jazz singer that when she was in America, she had to stay at a different hotel than the rest of her band because she was black. And then in the UK, like she was just treated like not like everybody else, but like, there were no laws keeping her from staying with her bandmates.
I'm in mind of Harry Haywood talking about his experience of the United States versus Europe versus Eastern Europe in his autobiography, Black Bolshevik, where interesting stuff. But regardless, there's these friends, Timothy, good body, who has a good body. He's tall and thin and strong and blonde, and Eugene Mortimer, who is Haitian. His friend, he drinks a lot. They're both very boisterous. Mortimer even more boisterous. And that's where Robert's like, wait, you can be more than friends with a man?
Yeah.
That I wrote
They
down that
clearly
they
love each other.
yes, very much so. They write fun letters to him. They're like literally in court doing a trial, and they're like, I'm doing a bullshit trial right now, writing you this letter. The judge is mad at me, but I'm gonna finish writing you this letter. I had fun hanging out with you on the tennis court, bitch. You have like that going on. I wrote down that like these are your friends you do coke with. Like that,
Yeah.
that really is like the vibe of these guys. They've got 7 cats. They give you gifts that like they give you crazy gifts.
The
Like
fucking cockatoo was really funny.
in
Yeah,
my
they have
notes, I
some
have that
great
bird is
scenes like
going
that.
down, and I was very pleasantly surprised to see it not go down.
Yeah.
I have a sentence. I cannot stress how insane these faggots Thanksgiving is. One guy plays piano for 2 hours so well that Robert says death has been conquered and cries.
Well, like I said, there were no video games, so like for fun, everyone had to quote Shakespeare by memory. This was fun.
Well,
Yes.
and it's these people as well who kind of sum it all up for Robert at the end. Like, yeah, you can have conflicted feelings for like more than one person in your life. Like, you can want something more physical with somebody while wanting something more emotional with somebody else. Your relationships can be multifarious and fluid, and subject to negotiation if only you take the time to negotiate, right? They're a much healthier alternative to what goes on at Gaywyck, certainly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
So
anything would be.
Also to frame up, like, Robert finds an old journal of Dono's, and in it he only reads a couple pages, but he finds stuff that says like, oh, last night Cormac and I what does he say, like Cormac played father and I liked it, or something like
Yes,
that. Like something
exactly.
that's very like, okay, all right, now so that like there are vibes of that before this. you're like, I'm reading a Gothic romance novel, so there's probably incest.
Yes.
But wow, there is incest in this book.
Oh,
Trigger
God.
warning.
I have to note, by the way, that time when he played father and he liked it, canonically, Dunna nutted so hard that he did not get hard again for 13 years.
I like that Robert has a magical healing cock.
Yes.
He cures his impotence.
Yes.
I squealed so loudly when I read, I am relieved, he answered solemnly. For the past 13 years, I've been impotent. I haven't gotten hard since I bought him for my brother.
His brother's dick was so good. He was like, I've gone to the best physicians in Europe, but nobody could fix it. Robert, your little twink cock.
My prostate is dented, and they couldn't fix it.
Hypnosis couldn't fix it. Fucking Freud couldn't fix it.
Freud looked at it, and Freud was like, I bet I know why that's wrong.
I look in the mirror, and I see the man whose cock defied science.
He's like, you need some blonde boy pussy that you're related to. Spoiler alert.
Freud saying, I know what you are, son. But to fast forward a little bit now, there's a lot of fun.
I guess Jones.
Yes, we get to
Jones.
Jones. So,
yeah.
And another insane side plot, Dunna has an employee that is trying to stop unionization at one of his mills, but Dunna was supporting the unionization effort. Anyway, the employee gets killed over it, which is, sometimes what you have to do.
Critical support.
Sometimes you have to do that when you start a union in 1900 because of, the way things were and maybe are. We'll see. But Dunna feeling bad for the guy's kids, gives them jobs. One of them gets like a fairly normal job where he's just like working with Teo and dropping ice cream.
Yeah, he's training to be a valet, I guess.
But the other one, Jonesy, I don't even know what he's supposed to be doing at Gaywyck. He's just supposed to be there, like learning to be a good man.
Yeah, it's just like
I will say, Jonesy rules. I love Jonesy.
Jonesy is the coolest guy who's ever lived. He's
like, I legitimately can't tell if he's like really ugly or if Robert is just a little bitch. Like Robert is like jealous of this 14-year-old.
I tend to believe it's the latter, yeah, because it's not only does this guy curse and like he can read, he just pretends not to like get one over on Robert,
which is so cool.
It is.
He literally goes to these rich people and he's like, "I'm too stupid to read," and they fucking believe him. So he reads all their journals and gets all this blackmail material. I am 100% support Jones.
Yes, he says you rich people think everything you do is so important you write it down.
Yeah, like, so without the character of Jones, I wouldn't think that there was like any commentary in this book about rich people, but because of Jones, I think there is. Because like this boy gets so fucked, like literally, by these like disgusting like rich adults.
Because Keys and oh my god,
Denver's.
Yeah.
The one I called the Remus Lupin ass.
Yeah, Keys and Denver's start hooking up with him, fucking him. We're not really sure how it starts, but obviously it's horrible.
Don't you hate it when some orphan comes in and fucks your entire staff?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, Robert's, like, perception of this, and I very much think it is, like, an unreliable narrator perception. I do not think we as the readers are supposed to take away that, like, this 14-year-old is, like, a seductress.
Yeah,
like,
but that's how Robert feels.
Yeah,
Robert is like, this child has seduced these men, which is like not like what's happening, even though he is getting a lot of stuff in return. Like he's getting money and stuff like that.
And the old men are mad at each other about it. They're like, he promises he doesn't see the other one, but I know he does. Jonesy is always trying to get Robert to like him. Yeah, he's always trying to get Robert to like him. I do think he actually would be down to seduce Robert if he could. If nothing else,
for sure. Like that would be a more age-appropriate relationship.
He straight up kisses him at one point.
Yes. Yeah. He's like, we should be friends. He's but he is a little shit.
He's trying to get somebody on his side who is not one of these disgusting old men, and Robbie is too much of a head ass to recognize that. He's too jealous. He's too elitist. And he is just like everything he does is so informed by being like, I think it very well portrays how insane being in love with somebody makes you.
Yes.
Like, it just makes your brain not work. It's like brain damage.
It does, yeah. And also, like, I do tend to fall a little bit more in your camp on further reflection here, Aisha, because like as much of a fantasy as it is to have this to have this place set up where you don't have to worry about rent, don't have to worry about food, where all your material comforts are addressed, like somebody still has to pay the price of like being the person that that these horrible staffers can just abuse. You know, there are
Right. And if it hadn't been Jones, it would have been Robert.
Yes.
And we find out that he like at the end we find out he was being abused anyway and he didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But like
I also have to note that, like, I mean, Robert is talk about elitist. He literally repeatedly refers to Jonesy as the Welsh intruder.
Yeah.
He's like, this Welshman.
He literally like is like there are just chapters of him mauling over the fact that there is a poor person in this house. Like
Yes.
it does not make Robert look good.
They are the toughest chapters in the book for me when you don't actually see Jones. You just have him Robert sitting there, like being like, I hate Jones over and over. I'm like, all right, let's wrap it up. But yeah, it's pretty funny. In after some side adventures, such as going to the gym and looks maxing. Well, actually, then there is a pretty significant moment where Robert's dad dies. And it does this really well. I think the entire section where he's dealing with the death of his father, which is so unexpected, you know, them not parting on good terms, actually works really well. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's just like, hey, we don't know who's going to play the organ because your dad was the guy who played organ in this town. Just like things like that work really well. And he's like, well, he says he died angry with me, Donna. We can't ever be friends now. You know, just little things like that. And people assuring him and him dealing with the grief. I mean, that's what, like, if Gothic literature works for anything, it works for this kind of thing, right?
I also really liked the thought process he had of like, well, especially when he finds out, like he reads his dad's journal and finds out that his dad was like in love with this priest and had a relationship with this priest. And he's not sure if it was physical or not because he never writes about that. But like this thought that, because like Robert is an atheist and his father was like a Catholic. And he has this thought of like, it like makes him so mad that, his father might have thought that he was going to hell because like Robert knows that hell is not real and stuff like that. And it just makes him so angry. And I really, really like that is a thought I've had about my mother back when she was very Catholic. She's now she's kind of gotten out of that. But like, I was literally like, it just makes me so mad on her behalf that she seriously believes that could go to hell if she like does something wrong. It just would make me really mad.
There's a part here too where it describes his father's corpse that just is effective for me. That says, contrary to what I expected from books, where corpses were described as looking asleep, he looked dead, sallow and still, like a cut flower beginning to wilt. His nails were white, his left eye wasn't completely closed. I thought of Kale peering out from under barely open lids, but I knew the body inside the wooden box in the center of the front parlor was dead. He's dead, I thought, expecting acceptance. If I touch him, he'll be cold. I touched his hand. It was cold. From within, I observed myself worrying, waiting. If I strike him, he won't respond. If I kiss him, he won't pull away or look embarrassed. He's dead. If I cry, will it be for him? And I don't know. Like,
have you guys ever seen a body that hasn't been fixed up by an embalming service? Yeah. They don't look good.
Yeah.
They don't look how they look at the movies when it's just like a living actor who's pretending to be asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen precisely one corpse IRL, and he'd gone through that process.
And I think that I wanted to stop on that, even though it's not super important to the overall structure of like what the book is about and the narrative here. I find that part to be very effective. I think that's a thing in Gothic literature that consistently works. And it is a moment where when we have these very absurd moments in the last 10th of the book, really, the last 10%, literally on my e-reader, it's like 90%. And I'm like, everything in the plot's happening now. It makes me root for this character and want things to work out for him and care about his depths of emotion because he has had this experience that makes sense. As goofy as he is, like it just fucking works here.
Yeah. Also, I like around this time, he starts having sex with somebody that he thinks is Gaylord, or that he thinks is Dono. But you know, it's Cormac. Spoiler alert. And also, like, Cormac is careful to only come out when Dono is there, because Dono doesn't live at Gaywyck. He lives in New York.
This is also around the time where we have the line, "There is something very special about male bodies, something very Cezanne in all those planes and angles." I just had to read that. And I'm like,
this is another thing that made me say I hate gay people.
Yeah, my note said fag, but I love him.
There's
note, fag, but I love him. When he goes to a locker room for the first time and he is just openly looking at guys' dicks, like he's just like they looked embarrassed and pulled away, and I was like, you're just staring
you're
at
just some fucking 18-year-old staring at your dick.
What does he say?
Cool.
There's more to love than need, I thought as I dived into the water, highly amused by the techniques naked men employ to avoid appearing to be looking at one another.
That's real as fuck, though. I will say, you're talking about football locker rooms. I'm an expert on football locker rooms, wrestling locker rooms. If your dick is out, most of the guys are looking at it, straight or gay or bi or whatever. Guys want to see what you've got going on, and they're gonna not look at it. It's an entire thing. There's entire rituals around this. It's really an elaborate thing that I've tried to write about, but I really don't quite know how to explain it. He does his best job to say it here, but it really is like a whole thing that we do.
He does.
In the
he
business.
does. Aisha, you were talking to us about like the very specific gay emotions that this book gets into that he's really, really good at portraying. I wonder if you could speak on that.
Yeah, one of my favorite gay emotions, which is, do I want you or do I want to be you?
Yep.
And I think that's a very common gay emotion. That is, I think, one of the reasons that it's like the first time that I realized that I was in love with a girl, I was like, no, I just really want to be like her. And then I was like, wait, am lesbian? Like,
that's more or less the precise emotion that like cracked me. Is that that and also like something that I recognize deeply in here is he has moments where like he looks at somebody like Mortimer and I almost said Mortabody. I almost said Mortabody, which is like their Tumblr pairing, I guess.
That's their ship name.
Mortabody, also an enemy that you fight in
Tumblr would lose
10.
its mind. Tumblr would not be able to handle this book.
Oh God, they would explode.
We introduced this one to the book Talk Girls.
Yes, I'm morbidly curious. But yeah, like he looks at a couple like Mortimer and Goodbody, and he has this moment of like, oh, they're happy, but I can't be as they are, no matter how much I wanted, because obviously I'm not the sort of person they are. He has that. He does in this moment realize that he is gay, but he hasn't really figured out exactly how this will play out. There is a bit at the end of chapter 11 that I really like that where he figures himself out. At the center of myself, a bubble sensation formed, rose, and burst, flooding me with warmth. For the second time in my life, passion erupted. Now I knew it by its name.
Yep.
I have to I'm just thinking about the time when I was in probably third grade, where I was like, I'm not attracted to this boy. I just want to smell like him, so I need to smell him as often as possible so I can figure out how he smells like that.
Classic.
And then he was like, why are you smelling me? And I was like,
Research.
Classic church camp moments.
In Pathologic 3, the first time you talk to the Harrisbecks, which is a main character in the game, he tells you that you smell like pond scum. So I think about that all the time.
Fuck yeah. Well, as we accelerate towards the end of this book, we're finding out all kinds of shit. We're finding out
Jonesy is found drowned.
Yes.
Jonesy
found dead in Miami, I fear. Crab crawls out of his mouth. It's gnarly. Turns out Jonesy had this whole plan where he was going to steal a bunch. I mean, he did. He stole a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he had a whole go bag.
Yeah, he had a go bag with blackmail material, gems, valuable portraits.
Like a bunch of pictures of the Gaylord family having sex with each other, basically.
Yes, all kinds of things. He was going to take off, but then he ended up being like, I'm going to blackmail you not to Donna, but accidentally to Cormac, and Cormac killed his ass.
Cormac's like, yeah, I'm the crazy one.
Yeah, but you didn't look. Yeah, he's like, you didn't look at my ring finger. I'm wearing the ring and on a different finger.
That didn't come
fucking
up as often as I thought it would.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like the implication was just that, like, they used it to trick people. I
Yeah.
thought that was going to be the implication. Like, because it's a really stupid... As soon as they bring it up, I'm like, yeah, they're just going to trade rings.
They
As-
use it to
like-
trick
as-
people, but not just for like frivolous reasons, right?
Yeah.
Right there, you do find out that like, yeah, Cormac was like being abused by the Gaywyck dudes, and like it would have been Donna had Cormac not taken his place at critical moments.
Yeah. Right.
You also find out that their nanny growing up was the worst Calvinist of all time, and was
She
like,
abused them, yeah.
yeah, putting them in like I forget what they call them, but they're like metal diapers that they can't touch themselves.
Chastity belts.
Mhm.
Yeah, essentially, and like, like forcing them to shit at times where they don't have to shit, like just crazy shit.
Yeah.
And they of course get saved by a noble Irish Catholic, who will come to the rescue. So many things like that. The plot accelerates. Jonesy dies, and then that makes Keyes freak the fuck out. He tries to kill Robert. Notably, he tries to drown Robert in a bathtub, gets saved by Kale, and then Robert was like, that was scary. I'm going to leave tomorrow, but I am going to go to sleep in my bed tonight with no guard on me.
That
He's got his
was
guard cat.
nuts.
He's got Kale.
So he gets the shit kicked out of him, almost dies. Keyes ends up killing himself. Then he's like hanging out with Cormac, who he thinks is Donna, and then Cormac jumps him and starts trying to beat him to death. So then he's like, Donna's
Rapes
trying to
him,
kill
too.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Say again.
I think he rapes him, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then like you have a moment where and then you have this moment which is actually quite interesting because Donna and Robert have been going back and forth on like what love is and dependency and death. And Robert's like, wait, actually, with or without this love, I would actually like to be alive.
Yeah.
He has that moment. And then he realized, and he's like, no, I'm not going to let him kill me. And then he's like, oh, wait, that's actually Cormac. That's not Donna.
Yeah. Well, Donna thinks that he has been having sex with Cormac on purpose.
Yes.
And Robert is like, what? Why would you think that? Like, I'm always telling you that I love you. Also, I thought Homeboy was dead.
You told
Like-
me
Yeah.
multiple times that your brother died in a fire. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this comes out, and then the house gets caught on fire, and Cormac is like, let's run away together. And then I like that Robert is like, no, I do love him too. So he's like, I love both of them. I find it interesting that he seems to be like, he loves Dono, but I think is more sexually attracted to Cormac.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems like. Yeah.
Yeah, this is set up all the way back in chapter 11, like where he's heard stories about how like rash and brash and like brutish Cormac
Violent.
is, but he
Yeah.
sees something in that appeals to him, right? Where my Dono feared to tread, Cormac would rashly charge and carry me away. Carry me away, I groaned, uneasy with the expectation such dime novel notions evoked. A little bit later, I imagine living with an extroverted me, right? He fantasizes about being the sort of person he deduces Cormac to be.
Yeah.
And also like is literally at certain points said, if I had been around when they were kids, I would have fixed him, is a thought he has numerous times for this book.
Mhm.
Shit would have been different if I was there.
Yeah. One thing that I found very like horrifying, but also like very touching, and also like kind of like realistic in kind of a very dark way, is that so basically like Gaylord Sr. and then his boyfriend Steven, this guy that he was having an affair with, would like share Cormac. Like they would have
Yeah.
sex with him. The young, like probably when he was like quite young. And Dono tells Robert like in like a vulnerable moment that like why, like Robert is like, why didn't they ever do it to you? And he's like, because they didn't want me.
Yeah.
Like in this almost like jealousy thing. And I thought that was actually, I don't think I've ever read that in a book before, but I have, like, I thought that was a very realistic, like, portrayal of abuse.
Right, because the dad is also, I mean, it's further complicated by the fact that the father is dead now, right? So his memory of his father is, he preferred my brother. My brother died with him, he thought, for the longest time because of that. And you have further now have Robert having slept with Cormac, having fucked Cormac repeatedly. He's like, oh, did you wanted him more? Like it's that same trauma with Cormac's reemergence, that same fear. And it's Cormac, it's obviously it's really gnarly and dark, but it's genuinely like I think well thought through, and I didn't find it to be hack at all, as like horrible as it sounds. Like it is, like it sounds like a thing that the brain could process it that way. And you end up through this ending having a lot is revealed. It is revealed that Remus Lupin, as you called him, has been a dark mastermind this entire time.
Yeah, he's been masterminding all of this because he literally was like, from the very beginning, he's very nice to Robert. He likes like his teacher kind of, but literally from the very beginning, he's this whore that's gonna steal Dono from him.
And
because he was fucking them too, I think. Right? He was fucking the boys as well. Yeah.
And he wanted Gaylord Sr. did not, in fact, kill himself. He made people think that he killed himself, but it turns out he and his lover were poisoned. Then he convinced Cormac that they had poisoned themselves, and to save their honor, he needed to burn them. And then he said, well, you burned them. People are going to think you killed them if we don't fake your death. So like every step of this has been orchestrated by this weird ass man.
By this evil homo. I mean, there's a lot of those in this book.
You need a good homo to stop a bad homo. It's just how it is.
That's so true. That is so true.
And so Denvers has orchestrated this entire thing. And then you find out that he used to be a Jesuit and he got kicked out of the Jesuits because he was too sexually into the crucifixion of Christ, which they just throw out as the last detail you hear about him in the entire book.
That fucking... Oh, what a queen.
When I was
I mean, he did. I mean, you don't have to hand it to him, but he is my favorite.
When I was
him and Jones are my favorite.
And still going to church. There was a bit in youth group. There was one day where like the youth group leader like read us a very, very detailed account of what happens to a human body that's crucified. I don't know why, just to make us appreciate Jesus' sacrifice more, I guess. I don't know. But I think back to that and I'm like, this guy's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, that's a pervert thing to do.
Yeah.
Denver's did some bad things, but to be fair, Robbie is very annoying.
It's true. That's a good point.
Well, back to the O'Malley bit. Like, has anybody considered this kid just sucks?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Has anybody thought that maybe this kid had bad vibes and was kind of a pain to be around?
But you might think there can be no more revelation. Surely there have been some revelations. No, there is one more twist. They've been cousins the whole time.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even mention Cormac and Donna's. Yeah, their
moms look the same.
Yeah, it's a fucking like Jane Eyre, like keeping a woman in an attic thing. Like the mom.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention the woman in an attic.
Yeah.
There's a woman in the attic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we did mention her super briefly, but like, yeah, there's a lady that he's
Cormac
and Donna's mother is like in an attic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
classic thing you need to have in a Gothic novel.
Yeah, and if you're a real pervert, you can clock it pretty early that okay, like there is a reason that she looks like Robert's mother. One of them is named Rosemary, and the other one is named Mary Rose. Again,
much like the Cormac and Donna situation.
They had fewer names back then.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're cousins.
And Gaylord Sr. had been overseeing Robert's life and was like gonna intervene at every turn to make his life good, but without him knowing. But now they're together, and Robert can change his last name to be Gaylord because he is a Gaylord, and also that can kind of imply a marriage situation.
This is basically the plot of a Thai drama that I really like called Kin Porsche, which is also about like gay boys who discover that they're cousins.
And that's that. I mean, they get gay married as much as you can in the year 1900 by, just dwelling together and having the same last name. Robert says crazy thing at the end where he was like, turns out that I was really good as his assistant because I have quite a bit of common sense. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Which I think that's Vincent Verga having some fun with his character there. And they live happily ever after, as was revealed in the third book that you now can't get anywhere. But apparently they like Robert became a silent film director.
That rules. I'm so glad. I actually I really thought that they were going to die. Well, I thought that Dono was going to die, just like the way that he talks about stuff.
And he does, just not until he's like 100.
Yeah. So I was very happy that they lived happily ever after. I thought that was lovely.
Yeah, they have an epilogue literally of the epilogue is 6th of January 1969. Gaywyck, Donna Gaylord died at midnight. He looked up at me surprised. Bells tolled, the sea continued, our love endures.
Just
so it is literally
moon landing.
1969. Yeah. Nice.
I cannot believe that. What did Donna Gaylord live to see? What's
both world wars.
I was thinking I don't know, the Big Chungus cartoon or something like that.
The JFK assassination?
Oh, definitely the Big Chungus cartoon. That's old.
Yeah, exactly. I was just shit like that, crazy what Donna lived to see. Yeah.
8 years shy of Star Wars.
Yeah, Donna didn't get to see Star Wars, but he did get to see the Shirley Temple Animal Crackers ad. So, he's the real winner.
Yeah, that's so true.
And that's the fucking end. It's such a I'm the first real gay Gothic romance novel. Actually has a happy ending for the gay characters. Not a happy ending completely. A lot of people die and have horrible situations and come out of horror. But I think it's a really lovely and beautiful ending. I think they really nail it here. I mean, I was genuinely impressed with when I heard the premise of this book. Not to say that this book isn't quite corny at parts. And Vincent Verga even said in an interview, I was trying to make sure none of it was camp at all. I'm like, well, a lot of it was. So sorry, Vincent.
but
it's good. It's lovely. I really liked this book. Most of it just genuinely liked it as a book. And when you described the book to us last week, Aisha, I fully expected this just to be a clowning on this episode, but there was so much of this that genuinely works.
Yeah. There's such positivity in it and such optimism and such gentleness regarding trauma and moving past it and growing from it. There's a bit where throughout the book, you have this constant guilt that Donna has, right? That he was privy to such abuse as a kid. Now it's permanently damaged his perception of what love is. And especially in the last chapter or two, you have that whole bit where Mortimer's going well, no, it's this crystallizes it. When Robert says, I want to know everything about everyone. No, you don't. It would make life unbearable. It's hard enough remaining ambulatory, knowing about oneself, right? There is such reassurance here that you don't actually have to judge yourself by somebody else's sins that you were intimate with, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's a excellent book about learning to let yourself be loved after experiencing trauma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you find a pretty enough twink, it can fix your impotence.
Absolutely. Who would believe our Bob was no longer white?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, this is a fun one, folks. We recommend. This is one we recommend.
Mm-hmm. We do. Yeah, this was a good book. I had a lot of fun with it. It's goofy. It's crazy. It's gay. Properly gay. It's got Dick. Next week, we're also going to talk about Dick. Philip K. Dick. See, pretty cool, right?
That was
good. Yeah. We are talking.
Yeah, we're doing Minority Report, right?
Minority Report with some cool guests. Y'all will be look forward to that, and we'll be talking about Minority Report, and probably you'll see why with these guests, but sci-fi more broadly and the possibilities, the narrative and political and creative possibilities inherent in that. So look forward to that, folks. Do y'all have anything else before I close this out here?
No, just listen to my other show, All My Maidens, if you want to learn about Elden Ring along with me.
Definitely. Sorcerer Rogier would do a great job at Gaywyck.
I mean, Elden Ring and Gaywyck have some similar themes, i.e. incest.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, we just did an episode on Blythe and E.G. and Celovus, which was fun, with Trevor Strunk from No Cartridge. So that was really good.
Those three, the Blowjob Brothers, as they were.
The Blowjob Brothers, yes.
Lenore, anything from you?
I will get y'all to read Dorley one of these days. It's.
Didn't you just say it was 1,000,000 words long?
Okay, well, it's going to be split into 5 books, so it'll be less than 1,000,000 words.
Gotcha. I was going to say I'm not reading 1,000,000 words for one episode.
I mean, it's yet more proof that, like, an insane concept that indeed is executed very, very campily in places can still have something really, really valuable to say about relationships and about healing and about just taking the time to figure out who you are against all trouble, you know?
Definitely. Well, on that note, I want to read in the 2009 version of this book, which I believe was just released very limited print and mostly on Kindle. That was when they did a big digital push and did a horrible new cover. The cover was horrible, but the afterword had some really lovely stuff in it. And I wanted to read a few paragraphs of how Vincent Verga closed the afterword to this book, looking back decades later. A letter writer sagely observed about Gaywyck in February of 1998, quote, "It is possible that this book, written before the onset of AIDS, is one of the final glimpses of the optimism that was part of the early gay movement," end quote. The comment seemed very right to me because after the book's publication in September of 1980, I'd gone to California on a small book tour. One of my most memorable experiences was being interviewed in San Francisco by Brent Harris for The Advocate. The interview ran March 5th, 1981. It's a wonderful piece, and we spent a lovely afternoon together. He was scheduled to come by my hotel, but called to say he wasn't feeling well, and would I mind visiting him? I was delighted to see a San Francisco apartment. Having grown up in the movies, I'm an incorrigible voyeur, and his enthusiasm for the book made me eager to meet him on any terms. He also said he was feeling rather weak and could not give me more than an hour. Brent Harris was a charming, witty, erudite man. We enjoyed each other's company immensely. The hours stretched on and on. He was moving into hospice quite soon, due to a rare form of cancer his doctors told him was suddenly appearing in gay men. A handful of gay men. He was one of 5 they were studying. After the interview was finished, we drank tea and talked about so many things, like very old friends. It's been such a long time now, 2 decades. So many of my old friends who cheered at the success of Gaywyck, who laughed with me about the warnings in bookstores, the traditional Gothic romance cover adorning my book, depicting 2 men, a fact not always registered by the hasty ladies in search of a bodice ripper, and who shuddered with me over bullet holes in Texas bookstores where Gaywyck was displayed, are now gone too, felled by AIDS like Brent. The night of my Gaywyck publication party in Manhattan was also the night of the Candlelight March, held for the men slain in front of the Ramrod, a gay bar. I told Brent that I must never confuse tolerance with acceptance. Gaywyck is a place like Shakespeare's Illyria, where a young person never questions the heart's desire, but accepts it with a shrug. Well, let it be. That shrug seems to have become a national gesture today. On the eve of the Millennium March on Washington, the syndicated gay columnist Dan Savage conjectures that, quote, "Gay culture is going away because the oppression is going away. I think that's a pretty fair trade," end quote. I don't get it. Gaywyck ends with a happy union, conjoined lives full of intimacy and happiness, though not with the loss of individuality. If gay culture evolves, in part, from a closeted, lonely, promiscuous existence, then I'm obviously in favor of its demise. However, I never conceived a life for my characters like the 1950s sitcom version of marriage. Among my young homosexual friends, I see babies, waxed bodies, suburban homes, and sacrificed careers. But the route to spiritual contentment takes many forms. I'm told, even if I cannot imagine it, encompassing log cabin Republicans and SUVs. The conservative Andrew Sullivan may opine, what's finished is far left politics. But anyone who knows American history sees how fatuous white middle-class gay men can be. Though Gaywyck is obviously a young person's political statement, it is essentially a song of hope. 2 decades later, I still live in that hope. Candlelight vigils are not a thing of the past, alas. There are still heartaches, fits of pique, and always, God willing, writing tables at which I can exorcise the demons and pray, in my fashion, for that brave new world of my dreams, where everyone reaches his and her full potential. There are only 2 kinds of people, my dear, those who love and those who do not. Everyone is equal, and everyone is extraordinary, Mr. Gaylord says. I say Gaywyck is ours.
Oh, I'm crying in the club.
Yep. So I wanted to share that at the end there because I think he said it best.
Yeah.
See y'all next week, folks.
See you guys.
Take care.
Pages upon pages, words with the form of the worker's brow. Got my nose to the spine, nose soaking up all the rhythm all they will allow. The workers